And when I say this to the people in Iowa, they just about lose it. Here's why I'm going to tell you there's going to be less corn. In the United States of America right now, we grew 15 billion bushels of corn on 90 million acres. That's up about 50% from just 20 years ago. We grow the heck out of corn. Guess what? During that exact same time, globally, we went from growing about 2/3 of the globe's corn to 1/3. Last year, we only grew 35% of the world's corn, meaning all those other countries I mentioned before have learned to grow corn. And they grow their corn because they want to feed animals so that they can have animal protein, because the higher up on the food chain one society becomes, the more they want pork chops instead of rice and mush, right? Makes sense to everybody. So here's the deal. While we're still growing a lot more corn, I see a world that produces less corn as time goes on, because first off, in the United States, about 1/3 of our corn still goes through ethanol. They said that in 40 years, we're going to run out of gasoline. Who else heard that story? Who else heard that in 40 years we're going to run out of gasoline? And that was in the 70s when we did truly have some oil crisis. My elementary school, we only had the thermostat on 58 degrees all winter because of the coal miners' strike, because then it was the discussion, is it actually because of the strike or because there's no coal? We're going to run out of all this stuff. We're not running out of it at all. Coal miners are out of work right now because electric generating facilities switched to natural gas. Why? Because there's so much of it, just like there's so much oil. We don't need ethanol. Ethanol doesn't make any sense when there's $2.29 fuel. More importantly, just take your guess. Is Exxon or Royal Dutch Shell, are those companies global companies that can go down to the Gulf of Mexico and pump oil into the Gulf and still survive after the lawsuits? Are they going to let Illinois put them out of business? No. Ethanol goes away for another reason. Electric cars. France and Britain right now, France and Great Britain have right now already passed the legislation that in 21 years you can't even make or sell an internal combustion engine in those two countries. 20 years is a short time frame, kids. So we're going to have laws against internal combustion engines, and we're going to have battery-powered vehicles. So why do you need ethanol? You don't.